Beautiful. So there's a lot of people out there who were affected by the storm, who were out of power. So were my parents, for example, as well. I was very fortunate that I had power, but a lot of people are still struggling or just recovering, just gathering their, like catching up with everything is happening, fixing things up. It's a beautiful dedication to all of you who need a little more energy, a little bit more smile, a little bit more laughter, a little bit more lightness. So we're dedicating this reading today to all of you. And we're sending you lots of energy and lots of love with that. I always like to close my eyes, and I invite you to join me. Close our eyes. Leave everything behind that might be in the way of being present for us right here, right now. Leave any anxious thoughts, any problems, any worries, any fears, anything that is not resolved and might drain your energy. Everything stays behind. We're going to enter that room inside of us where we go to when we speak to God, when we speak to our higher self, universe, angels, whoever you connect to. There's always that special place inside of you where no one allowed, because that's a sacred place. It is yours. And from that place, we're going to ask the universe, what do we collectively need to hear today? Wonderful. I got 2 messages.
Oh.
I got 2 messages. I don't know how it works, but I just pick up. I always have, I'm going to show you guys how it's like. I have these messages laying on the sacred book. And it's Zohar. And the book itself has energy. And I just put my right hand, and whatever comes up in the hand comes up. And very often, it's more than one message. So today we got choose compassion, choose peace, and choose love. Would you like to start with that, Dr. Davia?
Compassion, peace, love, I mean, those are the best things. They're amazing things. And I have noticed that in this time when we've certainly been socially distant, it's been interesting to have no power, no Wi-Fi, none of the creature comforts, no hot showers. It's been interesting to see how communities have been coming together with love and compassion and peace. And so maybe as difficult as these last few days have been, maybe it's a reminder to us that the peace and the compassion and the love are things that we need to continue to remember to embody, even though we are trying to stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah. That is so beautiful. And compassion is not only to people outside of us, right? Or people or situation around us, but the work is internal. Because if we are not choosing compassion to ourselves, we cannot extend it to other people. It's like the muscle that is not trained. There's no awareness unless we start with ourselves.
I agree with that, Julia, like 100%, because if you have no compassion for self, it is absolutely impossible to extend that to the other.
Yes, and all of that is a choice. So choosing peace, it's like we all saying we want peace in the world. Like, I know I want it so much. I want peace in the world, but what does that mean? It also starts having peace inside. And it's an inside job, and it's not easy. It's not easy. We're being tested a lot. with different challenges, with different conversations, with different relationships where we're triggered one way or another, socially, publicly, inside of our home, inside of ourselves. We're being triggered. The conversation between the left and the right, between the logic and the emotion, between the fears and the love, it's all happening inside. So getting to that place of peace internally is what allows to the possibility of the future world being world of peace. And the same thing with love, starting from yourself. Self-love, man, self-love. We gotta give it to ourselves. It is not selfish to love yourself. It is not selfish to take time and really do what you really love to do. It starts there. Because unless you do that, you're not fulfilled. And so loving yourself, allowing that fulfillment, having your cup with abundance of love, of creativity, of different things that inspire you, is not selfish. People around you, when you do that, get permission to do that in their own life. You're modeling it. You're modeling for the community, for your family, for your community, for your maybe organizations you're working at, and you're modeling for the world.
Absolutely. I really identify with what you're saying. As a matter of fact, I strongly believe, and now this is what I work towards. I really do believe that what you feel on the inside does not have to be influenced directly by the things that are going on the outside. And so, starting with pulling for that inner peace, that has to be job one, getting it from the inside. And then eventually you will start to see the pictures of our lives changing. But we each have to do that inner work one at a time, both developing that inner peace, but also developing that inner love as well.
Yes, beautiful. And amen to that. Love that. And so our second message is the key to getting what you want in life is helping others to get what they want. Dr. Davia, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we get that message together before?
I feel like we have, but sometimes repetition is good for emphasis because it's such a great message.
Such a
Uh,
good message.
it's a tremendous message. It reminds us that you know how I feel about collaboration. You know how I feel about the fact that we're all just pieces of one big puzzle and that we all fit together so beautifully and well aligned. And that if we're all really focused on helping each other to achieve the things that the other wants to achieve, it is without fail that the things that we are looking for will also find us. There is no chance for anything opposite to that to happen. And so that's probably why my biggest message has always been, just support each other. How are we supporting each other? What are we doing that is helping the other? And it's sort of like the golden rule, but the golden rule in action, not just as a thought or as a concept, but in action. How can I be supportive of you, of somebody else who needs what they need? And believe me, you cannot fight it. The things that you want, they will just come tumbling in your lap. It's inevitable. It cannot fail.
I love that. I love that. And I feel so strongly about it because all of the work that I do also, and that's why we have such a beautiful alignment, such a beautiful connection and collaboration with Dr. Devi and her personally, but also the work that she does, is because all my work, whether it's Untamed Hearts, or it's Messages from the Universe project, or it's Conscious Life Collective, a community that we co-created um, with Mickey, with my partner, it's all about helping other people to get to the place in life where they create or receive or get to what they really want. And like you said, Dr. Davia, because I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, I believe that we are all one. And if we are all one, if I can help somebody else to get what they want, I'm going to be taken care of. Because we are one. I'm helping myself to get what I want. If I am one with Dr. Davia, and I am one with Dr. Davia, when I help her to get that dark chocolate that she loves, or she helps me to get the dark chocolate with hazelnut flavor that I love so much, I'm going to be so happy. She's going to feel it. It's a silly example, but there are much bigger projects. There are much more important things that we are doing in our lives when we do need collaboration, when we do need support. We need to support each other. And so if we can create connections, if we can create openings, when we can create space, hold space for each other to create that is what is ours to create. We are not supposed to do it alone.
We don't have to. We never ever have to do it alone. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of us kind of make. We're taught to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and we're taught to just do it, and we're taught to be go-getters and all of this stuff. But nowhere in that narrative does it say that in pulling yourself up by your bootstrap or in just doing it, that you have to do it all by yourself. And I'll give you an example. I love the example of chocolate because, well, who doesn't love the example of chocolate?
Dark chocolate is my favorite.
But I'll give you another example. On the day after we had our storm, which affected the entire Northeast, we had power here in our Bristol office. And I was here all day long, you know, checking in on the women who are part of our women's group, seeing how we could help people who needed help. I was in the office checking on patients, seeing how we could help patients who needed help, treating patients who had pain. And in the back of my mind, I was a little concerned for my own family because we had no power at home, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. And so obviously, a little bit on the concern side for myself, but still spending my entire day focused on helping the other people who are part of our circle. And wouldn't you just know, I get home, and what's at home waiting for me is a generator. Somebody in our group who has been touched by the things that we do stopped and dropped a generator off at our house just so that I could power my refrigerator, just so that we could have lights in the house. And the opportunity that I had to actually feel the generosity of someone else was outstanding, because I am very often, you know, giving and doing and helping, but this was an opportunity for me to receive, and it was so beautiful, was so sweet, and it's a testament that we never, ever, ever have to do it alone. So maybe that's why we're getting this message from the universe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a reminder. We need this peace, we need this love, and you know, we need to make sure that we're getting it from within, but we also need to remember that we don't have to do it alone.
I love that. And this is the path. And Dr. Davia said it beautifully. And live our lives guided by the virtue and the law, universal law of compassion. Beautiful. This is our week, guys. I'm taking it. I'm embracing it. And I will be much more aware about what other people need so that I can be part of this universal movement of energy and sharing with others, helping others to receive what they want is the only key, the only way to get what you want in life. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Davia.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry guys, my phone. And we are sending you so much love. take a good care of yourself, and we'll see you next week. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel so you'll get an alert. And so much love. Mwah.